2016.
Ultimatum is 2007?
Yeah, dog. That was the summer of trilogies. That year was Spider-Man 3, Shrek 3, Pirates of the Caribbean 3, Ocean's 13, The Bourne Ultimatum, and then there was like good movies like Ratatouille. But it was a weird fucking summer at the movies. It was good if you were a fan of 5 or 6 major franchises, but otherwise,
I did not.
Treadstone was USA. Just for so it was probably...
Yeah, that sounds like USA, because they do a lot of those super spy...
Yeah, Burn Notice, White Collar, Royal Pains.
They did Shooter as a show.
So it seems like actually a pretty good fit for the USA Network if you're doing kind of like isolated spy adventures. That seems like a pretty good fit.
I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, USA's full, like, White Collar.
I refer to it as, and I mean this with no derision, that is hotel room TV. You pop in on a random ass episode. You got an hour to kill before like your reservation or whatever. There's an episode of Royal Pains or White Collar on. You can park it right there and watch a full episode, or leave halfway through and be perfectly satisfied.
Yeah,
and I mean that as a compliment.
It's perfectly palatable, non-attention demanding television.
You don't binge White Collar. You tune in to White Collar, and I'm like, and that is perfectly satisfactory. They are the television equivalents of the movie Now You See Me, which is my go-to hotel room movie, because it is always on. You can kind of watch any scene and it'll be like perfectly fine. They'll do some like weird magic shit.
It's got a great cast too, man.
An excellent cast. So you're like, I don't really like this movie, but I'm like getting to watch Woody, getting to watch Isla Fisher,
Ruffalo, Isla Fisher,
Eisenberg,
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
Freeman?
Daniel Radcliffe in the sequel, like...
I haven't seen the sequel, but they missed an opportunity to call it Now You Don't.
They also... Absolutely they did. They also snuck Michael Caine into Now You See Me, which leads me to believe that the goal of Now You See Me was to trick everyone into thinking it was a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, they were like, it's like The Prestige.
Right. Like, it's exactly like The Prestige or 100 Christopher Nolan movies that have both Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine in it. And then, you trick them with a little Prestige, a little Batman, and I'm sure if we find every, like, poster or ad for Now You See Me, they will find some way to mention The Dark Knight. From the studio that brought you The Dark Knight. From two guys that saw... The Dark Knight.
I've never thought about spending time on IMDb digging through DOPs, but I'm going to do that now because...
Dude, it's great. I love it.
I mean, wild. So, like, the DOP for... Sorry, cinematographer, director of photography for...
they're
Jason
interchangeable,
Bourne.
and even most people don't know... even most cinematographers are not sure what the exact difference is.
Yeah, sure. The cinematographer for Jason Bourne did The Outlaw King, which is wildly different. But I now realize both of those movies are actually shot pretty well.
Yeah.
They also did Captain Phillips.
Cool guy.
And The Hurt Locker. So, like, dude definitely has a style.
Those are well-shot movies as well.
Yeah. The Wind That Shakes the Barley? Definitely a style. God. Solid. But then, like, the guy who was the director of photography for The Bourne Legacy, which, all right. Also did Rogue Nation.
Cool.
And Nightcrawler and There Will Be Blood. Which,
damn.
What the fuck?
Damn, those are some good movies to have on your res.
Good movies. Inherent Vice. So he did Bourne Legacy. Oh, shit. So he did The Town. Very good. Ghost Protocol. Also very good. Bourne Legacy.
Also very good.
Bit of a duck egg. Nightcrawler. Inherent Vice. Rogue Nation.
Great films. Nightcrawler and Inherent Vice, same year. Same calendar.
Same year. Yeah.
Damn, guy was busy.
And then Velvet Buzzsaw. He likes working with people who like directing Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, well,
the actor who cannot escape this podcast's conversation.
Yeah, and Jake, you and I, we've buried the beef, we've buried the hatchet. Jake, Velvet Buzzsaw and Nightcrawler have the same director. They are both Dan Gilroy joints, or Tony Gilroy. One is a screenwriter, the other is a director.
They related.
Yeah, they are brothers, I believe. So let me, so they're obviously, oh great, we're talking about cinematographers. This is one of my favorite things to do. So there are the legends, right? You have your Gordon Willises, who shot most of Coppola's movies, like the Godfather movies, which are like the 2 best shot movies of all time.
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now, he shot, again, forgive me the name mentioned, but he shot some really beautiful Woody Allen movies. Again, illegal to even mention his name, but Gordon Willis did good work on those movies.
Yeah.
You have your Roger Deakins, who we were already talking about, who started all this with his incredible work on the entire Coen Brothers catalog, Blade Runner 2049, maybe the best guy to ever point a camera at stuff. Like, maybe the #1 guy to ever point a camera at stuff. But I would like to introduce you to a little guy. This guy's name is Dean Cundey. Great name, right?
No, but yes.
You've never heard this guy's name before, I'm guessing.
Hang on, I'm going to look up C-U-N-D-Y.
C-U-N-D-E-Y. D-E-Y, yes. Let me just introduce you to some of the movies that this fucking guy has operated the camera on. Escape from New York, The Thing, Romancing the Stone, Back to the Future, Big Trouble in Little China, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Back to the Futures 2 and 3, Hook, Jurassic fucking Park, The Flintstones, Apollo 13, Casper, The Parent Trap. What, like, Looney Tunes back in action.
Scooby-Doo?
This fucking guy.
Can you imagine being responsible for the way all of these things look and being able to walk in public and no one know who the fuck you are?
You have never heard his name before, but he has shot at least 5 of your favorite movies of all time. Whoever you are, this guy is a legend. But
this list is fucking bananas.
It's insane.
The Thing?
I mean,
The Thing?
One of, like, my favorite horror movie of all time. Apollo 13? So he was the guy who was working with Ron Howard to coordinate them, how they shot that movie, which is they would fly a big plane into the air in a parabola and capture Tom Hanks in the 0G space provided by that flight. That guy, Jurassic fucking Park, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the best integration of live action and animation, including CGI, of all time. And he shot that. So, like, when they're doing crazy light moves with all these specific, like, robot rigs that are built for just, like, one shot of the movie, that's Dean fucking Cundey.
And he's still shooting stuff.
He's got 4 projects in post-production. So he's already shot 4 more movies. You know, recently, the list has been looking a little bit more dire, I am afraid. You know, it's not Slamma-Jamma, Home Again. These are not up to where he once was. But
no, but that's okay.
For anyone to have this guy's 80s and early 90s career, we could only dream.
What but this desk were a time desk?
Exactly. So I could go back and be if any actor or any director had been behind all of those movies, they would be the most acclaimed person in the history of cinema. We would retire their jersey into the rafters.
You can no longer name your child this.
Dean Cundey. Dean Cundey is no more. Pour one out. Folks in the Advanced Community Studies audience, pour one out for Dean Cundey, because he was your VHS collection.
Yeah. So, last one, because I had to look it up, because Dune is coming.
Dune is coming.
The cinematographer from Dune, not untalented.
Oh, Denis Villeneuve knows how to hire a damn cinematographer.
Yeah, so he's got Greg, however you want to pronounce it. Greg Fraser. He's actually director of photography for the Batman movie that's coming, which is Dune, and then Batman. That movie's gonna be fucking beautiful. He did 3 episodes of Mandalorian, Vice, Rogue One, Zero Dark 30, The Gambler, Foxcatcher, and then Snow White and the Huntsman.
Again, we cannot escape from.
But that movie was dumb.
Yeah, that movie was dumb. So I don't like most of the projects on this guy's resume, but undoubtedly they are incredibly well shot. Like they are movies I do not love that are killing them softly. Like the best looking movies you've ever seen. I love it. This is, of course, Advanced Community Studies, the podcast where we watch Community 1 or 2 episodes at a time. This is a big one, folks. I am, of course, one of your hosts, TV's Kevin Lanigan, and I'm really curious about wiener dogs. I want to know if they're born that way or if they start out normal and then get wiener.
And I am the daddy host, a new title I am glad to have.
Daddy host.
When I tried to come up with other names, people wanted to say nice try Stephen Fry, but they didn't.
Stephen Fry!
Have you ever shown up late to a puppy parade? Because it is pointless.
This is not a Troy episode, but Troy has some bangers. Troy can come in. Troy is an assassin. You give Troy 5 lines and he'll still manage to be the funniest person in a given episode of Community.
Yep.
This episode, I mean, we're going to talk about it rapturously. We gave it its own episode. We made Messianic Myths its own episode so we could give this its own episode. What a remarkable piece of work on everyone's part, particularly the writing, but my God, is every piece of this episode firing on all cylinders. Jace fans in the audience, don't worry, they'll be back. They just had something that came up at the last minute, and we had a show to make, but they'll be back. We did not.
And we had a show to make.
We had a show. The show must go on.
Yes.
I love it. So, a little bit of a little social media catch up, because we do that when there's been something in the social media space. Yesterday, as of this recording, I took to Twitter and I put up a give me anything about Community and I will give you my hot take. And most of you were incredibly lovely and we all got to share like our funny opinions, and most of you were dope, and like at the end of the day, this is a silly show we all like, where they build blanket forts. So like, let's not lose any friendships. Let's not get too obsessed with any element of it. I got to defend Britta Perry, which is one of my favorite things to do. I got to anger shippers, which is another thing that apparently I enjoy doing. But last, I got to share my grand unifying thesis of Community, which was nice. I don't know if I've shared that. I feel like I must have on this podcast at some point.
Maybe
my grand unifying theory is that this show is Jeff's story told from Abed's perspective.
I don't know if you've said that in as many words, but I feel like because of the conversations we have had, you've essentially said it. Right. Does that make sense?
It was good character writing, whoever wrote me, that like I had a philosophy. It never came out, but everything I said was indicative of that internal philosophy. And I don't mean this literally. I don't think Abed like literally wrote the television show Community, or this is like a fictional version of it that he created. But the show opens on these two characters. The first scene for either of these characters is them together on the quad. And Jeff tells Abed that he sees his value now. And this is the moment where Abed decides that Jeff is his guy. That through thick or thin, like whatever, this is my hero, this is my protagonist. Yeah. And
it's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to him.
Exactly. And we are going to tell the story about this, and I think that makes Abed's just absolute devastation of Jeff at the beginning of season 2 like hit even harder, because he's just so beyond frustrated with his own leading man. The show basically ends with Jeff saying goodbye to Abed. I think it all lines up. This is Abed's brain telling Jeff's story in not so literal a way.
Yeah, no, I like it. I always posited to people who are either new to the show or who are longtime fans that the show very much was about Abed, and I think framing it as being told by Abed makes a lot of sense. 100%.
Without Abed, this is a very different show. Without Abed's ability to label something a bottle episode, to imagine Chicken Fingers as a mafia movie, without his ability to do that, this ends up being a very funny but very, like, normal, in quotes, community college television show.
Is he also the one with the most fourth wall conversation? Fourth wall dialogue?
Oh, 100%. He's always talking about, like, the tropes of his own TV show, seasons, characters, arcs, etc.
I mean, even narration, right? Like, Chicken Fingers is narrated by him as if he's talking to us.
He is telling the story to the dean, right? And so he lays it out in this way. Right. And the only other character that kind of keeps up with Abed is Jeff. Jeff is the one who gets all of Abed's references. Jeff and Abed have seen the same TV and movies. I think Jeff is just as obsessed with culture as Abed, but he is more ashamed of it, so he doesn't bring it up all the time.
He's the guy that goes and sees all the movies, right? Or, like, knows the movies to have a conversation with anybody about them. But Abed studies them. Yes. He's nose to the ground, just like, or ear to the ground, nose to the grindstone, just learning all of it so he can, like, internalize it and then use it in any situation. And Jeff's like, oh yeah, I saw Animal House.
Because Jeff is, like, at least 10 years older than Abed, but they share the same references. They have a common language. And I think all of the members of the study group are a little lonely, but Jeff and Abed feel particularly lonely. Like, when Jeff leaves the study room every day, he's not going out to a bar and picking up a chick. He does that sometimes, but he's probably just going home and drinking, and what else is there to do but watch movies and TV. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I think they share this common language. And anyway, it's based loosely off of how, again, forgive the name drop, but how Joss Whedon talks about Firefly and Serenity.
Is Joss a stinky boy?
He's a stinky boy. Let's not get into it on the show.
No, we don't have to. I'm sorry. I just learned this.
Just for your own edification. Firefly, he says, is River's story told from Mal's point of view, and Serenity the movie is Mal's story told from River's point of view. And I think that's a very interesting way to look at these forms of storytelling. And it doesn't apply to literally everything. I don't have the same thing for The Office or Parks and Rec or Scrubs or anything like that. But sometimes if it really lines up, I think there's something there. I think there's something to it.
For sure.
But anyway, we are here to talk about one very specific, very good, very special episode of Community. This is Cooperative Calligraphy.
Calligraphy, yes.
Annie's pen is lost. This is season 2, episode 8, directed by Joe Russo, written by Megan Gans. So the A-team is working on this fucking episode.
Kev, I have to correct you. It's not about Annie's pen. It's about a principle.
It's about a principle.
Yes.
I thought it was a principle. And I think all the performances of this episode are great. And a phenomenal work done by the editing team, like making sure that we understand everything, that all the beats land, and fitting so much information into 21 minutes of TV. But I really have to give special credit to Megan Gans for writing this episode.
Sure.
Because not only is this an incredibly conceptual episode that is essentially set around one table, you have specific beats and arcs for every individual member of the study group. You have setups and callbacks for lines that happen in this episode, and you still manage to find time to advance Shirley's pregnancy arc and the Jeff and Britta secret sex arc. You manage to find time in this episode to push both of those forward. It's unbelievable.
I don't think I caught the Jeff and Britta secret sex. Sorry, the miso in the bottom of my ramen bowl, the spicy miso.
You shot right down.
Oh yeah, breathing's interesting.
It's when you can really like taste your breath. You know, when you eat something really hot or spicy, and you like, air has a taste now.
every breath tastes like something. I've probably watched this episode 10 times, but I don't. I think maybe it's because I've always, after the first couple, you start to zone out, so your attention span is lower. Which I think is why shows like this or The Office or Parks and Rec are so good, because they get you so comfortable that you can then watch them when you're doing other things. And when you're doing other things, you're prone to realize things you didn't realize because you're focused at different spots. Anyway, that's just my long form theory about why these shows are super good.
Yeah, media consumption. Because like when you're used to the plot, then you can suddenly notice shots or themes that you like weren't able to pick up on because you were trying to literally figure out what was happening.
Exactly, and that happened this last time I watched this, because when Britta comments on what Jeff's underwear usually look like, I didn't think anything of it.
Numbers?
I didn't think anything of it, and then this time I realized that Abed literally goes, usually? Because he caught, like, wait, what? Why do you know that? And it's just a single line, and he's not even centered in the frame. He's like, you might only see half of his face for part of this, right?
Jeff moves on immediately.
Yeah, right away, and you move right past it. But yeah, you're right. This episode has a lot that it wants to work in, and it does it really well. It does it well enough that it doesn't make you feel like it really wanted to work it in. It just feels organic.
Yeah, it works so well. I know that these are the constraints of broadcast television. I wish they had 2 more minutes to let us sit for a second, because this episode is go, go, go. They don't even have time to properly explain what a bottle episode is. There is not time for Abed to go, a bottle episode is when all the characters are contained to one space.
Yeah.
And I think, for me certainly, but I imagine for many, many people, this is their introduction to that term. And every show has bottle episodes. It is a cost-saving measure. Watch any of your favorite shows and look around at I see we're really sticking to the locations we've already been to before in this one. Most episodes of Cheers are bottle episodes. They do not leave the bar.
Yeah.
And also there are many beer bottles. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's stupid.
You apologized immediately, so it's okay. You understood the crime you're committing.
I had
Does that make it
to
worse?
say it. That doesn't mean that I don't feel shame. It had to be said. But it doesn't mean that I don't feel bad about it.
One does not simply leave fruit on the table, no matter how low-hanging it may be.
Exactly. I'm sorry. If there's fruit, I gotta bite. That's just... I've been thrown out of many grocery stores. Also because I refuse to wear a mask for some reason.
You can never deprive the world the portion of your face that they would be missing.
That the strap would cover! What a great bit. Everyone has good bits. Pierce has a couple zingers in this episode.
Yeah, his Vietnam joke. What does he say?
That's
People
why
you were the reason it took us so long to get into Vietnam.
To get into Vietnam. As if Pierce Hawthorne is of the impression that we should have entered Vietnam sooner. We didn't get in there fast enough. We needed to be there for 13 fucking years, but we needed to get there sooner, be there longer. Oh, Pierce, you're a garbage boy. There's a couple of Yvette Nicole Browns in this that destroy me, particularly when she says, I'm around Jeff's age, and Britta says, unless time is linear, I'll make your ass linear. That doesn't make
any sense.
I'll make your ass sense. That's good. I don't care who you are. That's an incredible joke.
Time is linear. I'll make your ass linear. It reminds me of, and we'll get to this one eventually when we get to the end tags of the time travel episode. Not the time travel episode, the multiple endings episode. What's that called?
Intermediate chaos theory?
Intermediate chaos theory.
Your dad brain, man, I tell you.
Dude, yeah. It reminds me of when at the end of that.
Do you or anyone you know suffer from dad brain? You may be entitled to compensation.
It's literally just vacation. But at the
that's the one job you don't get a vacation from.
Exactly. No paid days off. And Britta looks at Shirley, who's drinking, and she says, don't you think you've had enough? And she goes, of you. This is on the same page as that for me. They're both really funny. No matter how many times I rewind it, I chuckle every time.
That is way the hell up there. One that is way the hell up there for me. It's in Dungeons and Dragons, I think, where she's talking about Troy and Abed's special little relationship, and they're like, she's And she's like, yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, because she has Hector the Well Endowed, and she was like, that was meant to be for Troy. And she goes, I bet it was.
I bet you did. And incredible. Yvette Nicole Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, Yvette, stand up and take a bow. You earned it every episode of this dang show. They could give you anything, and you weaved it into fine spun gold. Incredible.
It's so good. I love this episode, man. And the fact that, like, it harkens back to Chicken Finger episode, which we talked about before this, is very good. Because, spoiler alert, Annie's boobs stole the pen, and that's not a euphemism for her dropping it down her shirt.
That means Troy's that
monkey?
Yeah. The monkey returns. Great. There are 1,000 YouTube videos of every few months people rediscover that you can see Annie's boobs take the pen in a shot before you realize. Can't. 100%, my dude. I cannot believe you don't know this.
Here's the problem. My brain goes, I wonder if you can actually see that. And then forgets to look because I don't do it immediately. I go, I'll check after the episode's over.
Oh, and 100%.
No way. I'm looking, dude. I'm looking.
It is when Troy says, I want to lick it. You can see Annie's boobs taking the pen in the background. It's unbelievable that on this fucking show
you can see it. Oh my god!
I can't believe this is the first time you're learning about this.
I never.
You can see it, and it's the real Crystal the monkey. They didn't get a goddamn like hand on a stick. It is a real monkey taking that pen. I'm so happy for you that you know about this.
This is changing my life right now.
I'm so happy for you, dude. Wow, this is it's unbelievable.
I was just more focused on Troy saying, I want to lick it about a puppy, because who wouldn't be?
Yeah, I have the same problem, though, when I'm watching something, is like, okay, this time I'm really going to pay attention to this, and then I just get lost in the storytelling, and I forget, like, what the fuck I'm supposed to pay attention to.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what was I looking for? Oh, I don't remember. That was a good movie, though. I really loved The Social Network.
Yep.
That has happened to me with The Social Network a couple times.
Yeah,
where
for sure.
The Social Network is one of those movies where if you're like, it's 11 p.m. and you're like, oh, I kind of just want to like put on something familiar before bed. And you're like, oh, The Social Network's on Netflix. Like, let me pop that on real fast. And then before you know it, 2 hours have passed and you have watched the entirety of The Social Network.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to go to sleep. And you're like, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to watch the whole damn thing. I did that recently, like last week, 2 weeks ago. In my office, I was skimming through Netflix to look for something because Amanda, my wife, had asked. And then I saw Social Network, and I was like, oh, you know what? No. I was looking up Aaron Sorkin movies or shows because I knew that West Wing was on there. I didn't know if any of his other stuff was on there. And it said The Social Network was on there, and I was like, what?
Huh?
And I just watched Molly's Game. That's what it was. I just watched Molly's Game, which isn't bad. It's not great. It's not
interesting.
Bad.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's autobiography, or it's based on real events, which always takes away from the storytelling delivery for me, unless it's done really well.
Unlike The Social Network, I guess.
Oh, fuck off! Anyway, I started that movie at like 11. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed early. I'm gonna start this until I get tired, and then like it ended, and I went, shit. I was like, man, Andrew Garfield's great in this movie. Fuck, this movie's over now. It always happens.
Yeah, it's that's an incredible movie, and it is a mark of David Fincher as a filmmaker that he maybe even made a movie that is better than The Social Network. But god damn, The Social Network. The Social Network.
It's just a whole vibe. The whole movie is a vibe, dude.
Everything's on the right level. The score is incredible. We all know that. Sorkin is this weird optimist who has this overtension to like bloviate or make his characters like holier than thou. And so you have Fincher like dragging Sorkin back, but you also have Sorkin like pulling Fincher into lively dialogue-based films. You know?
Yeah.
Everything about that movie is good. It's just, unfortunately for The Social Network, Zodiac exists, and Zodiac is a masterpiece.
Zodiac exists. I would argue 7 might be even better on Fincher's list of...
7 is great. I don't want you to hear that horse noise I just made as 7 not being great. I I think I like every David Fincher movie. I like them to varying degrees. I know we're supposed to be talking about a great episode of Community, but whatever.
It's all right.
I even like Alien 3.
This is who we are now.
I like Alien 3 quite a bit. Like, it's not great, but it's
God, the prison colony Alien? Fuck yeah, that movie's great.
Yeah, that movie kind of rules secretly.
Yeah. There's a dog xenomorph in that movie, Kevin.
Dog xenomorph? Great. You have, again, just like a buffet of character actors. Yeah. You could do way worse than Alien 3.
Or is that Alien Resurrection?
What'd you say?
Is that the one with Michael Wincott in it, or is that Resurrection?
No, I think Michael Wincott might be in that one, dog.
Wincott.
I'm not sure. But there's an incredible array of character actors in Alien 3. Fight Club is good, but not for the reasons that most people that like Fight Club like Fight Club. It's a masterpiece because it hates the people that like Fight Club.
Yeah, it does. It's great. I'm glad that you said that because it's so true.
Fight Club is really good, and unfortunately, Fight Club and anime are two things I cannot admit to liking publicly because I am instantly put on a list. If I walk up to you and talk about how good Fight Club is, I am unfortunately put in jail. But Fight Club is very good. But again, not for the reasons that most people that like Fight Club think it's good. We call it the Scarface paradox.
Sure, right. It's good, but everyone else is going to have a conversation about why they think it's good, and you're going to have a different conversation, and they're going to be lost.
Yeah, there are some movies, even good ones, but if someone walks up to you and starts talking about how good American Psycho is, I really have to stop and gauge why they like American Psycho and if I should call the police.
Sure, 100%. And I've made those arguments before, so...
Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street. Like, if someone comes up to you and just, loves those movies, you have to go, okay, is this person are they good at interpreting cinema, or should I go to the FBI directly? Like, which should happen right now?
Did they like it because wish fulfillment or commentary?
Right, exactly. Yeah. I once had, before I ever saw Taxi Driver, I had a roommate who said Travis Bickle, the protagonist of Taxi Driver, was the most relatable character in cinematic history. And had I seen Taxi Driver at that point, I would have packed my bags that day. I would have been like, oh, no, cool. I'm dropping out of the lease. I'm taking whatever fine I need to take. I'm out of here, dude. I can't.
Oh, sweet. My credit. I'll nuke it. I gotta go.
Fuck. I'll go to jail, man. I feel safer with them. Fuck, man.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely.
The most relatable character in cinema
is Travis Bickle.
But I bet that kid loved Joker.
Probably.
What'd you think of Joker? This is not related to this show, but was Joker for you were you like, oh, that movie was all right? Could have been called literally anything else, and he didn't have to put on clown makeup, and it didn't have to take place in Gotham, and it maybe didn't take place in Gotham, it maybe definitely took place in New York, and it probably didn't have anything to do with anything Batman, but definitely had Batman in it to sell, and it probably could have been made about anybody else.
No, it's not for me. Everything about it was I was watching that and I was like, well, damn, I should be watching Taxi Driver or King of Comedy right now, instead of this movie. This movie I should be watching
the movie this is derived from.
So desperately trying to be specifically King of Comedy, even going so far as to cast Robert De Niro as a comedy talk show host, which I don't know who needs to tell you. Robert De Niro is not funny. Robert De Niro is funny in movies sometimes because of how serious he is. To cast him as a David Letterman type is very strange.
Isn't he in Meet the Family?
But even in Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers, it's specifically because of his severity that he is funny.
Yeah, it's not specifically funny because Robert De Niro with a perfectly straight face is saying, I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? That is what is funny about it.
That's good, but it's because of his severity.
It's
because
he's
good got comedic delivery.
Because in the scene where Ben Stiller's foreskin is launched up into a bug zapper and plummets into a pot of fondue, that is in Meet the Fockers, Robert De Niro's going, And that's what's funny, is because he's doing, like, De Niro face at that. He doesn't like it. It's not because he is a comedic dynamo.
See, Kev, it's okay.
Analyze this, analyze that. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. They can make mistakes. There's accidents are allowed. They just can't make accidents over and over and over again. This isn't budget daycare.
Yes, this isn't budget daycare. Incredible way to pivot back. I just, like, one last thing on Joker. It seems really deep. If it was deep to you, I do encourage you to watch a real movie. Just, like, one time. I encourage you to watch even one movie that doesn't have Batman in it, and then, like, I don't know, just get some perspective on storytelling. Just, like, real quick.
This episode's subtitle should be Edges Sharp.
Yeah, sorry. What can I say?
Like, you should watch just watch a real movie once.
Just watch, like, a real movie, and I think, you know, there are movies about superheroes and space wizards that I love, that I think are great movies. Iron Man 3, Thor Ragnarok, you know, like, whatever. Like, there are movies that I love, but, like, I do ask you.
I will die on the hill of Iron Man 3, and I have a friend that does not like it at all, and every time it's brought up, it's an argument.
Iron Man 3 is a masterpiece. I watch it every Christmas. Guardians 2 is the best movie in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are movies in these franchises that I love. However, watch one. Just, like, you don't. It's not. I'm not going to assign you Hiroshima Mon Amour. You know, I'm not going to make you go watch
Graveyard of the Fireflies.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you watch Bonfire of the Vanities. I'm not going to make you fucking watch, like, these movies you're not going to enjoy. But, like, just pop on The Graduate, just, like, one time. And, like, it's a good movie. You will like watching The Graduate. Just like watch one thing made before 1980. Just like one movie made before 1980. Watch Dog Day Afternoon. That movie kicks ass. Watch it just like one time.
Just once.
Just like what you like. I like a lot of silly, cartoony stuff, but just, like, broaden your palette a little bit. That's all I'm saying. You know, I encourage you to broaden your palette.
I love how simultaneously you're like, I mean, like what you like, but also don't like such shit.
Yeah, no, I love shit. Like, I watch Guardians 2 every year. That movie makes me cry every single time. However, you know, watch some other stuff sometimes. You know, if you've seen Do the Right Thing, great movie. Like, check that out sometime. That's all I'm saying. That's all. I like what you like, 100%. But just, like, try some stuff. Try some cinema with a capital C. Just, like, try it. I'm not looking down on you. I fucking love Last Jedi. You know, that's one of my craziest opinions. You just like, try something else. Anyway, Annie lost her pen. I am remarkably impressed, and hear me out here, with the way this episode uses its act breaks, its cut to commercial. Because usually they'll end on a good joke or, like, a poignant, sad moment that makes you want to come back. This episode also so smartly uses each of its commercial breaks to reset the table, to cover ground that it would be clunky to cover with dialogue. So when Jeff tells Gwennifer to suck it and throws down his phone, and we cut to commercial, that's great. And when we come back, he and Annie are, like, taking apart everyone's backpacks, right? And that would be so difficult to cover with dialogue. How did we get to this point? But if it happens between acts, you can so smartly just, like, move around those obstacles.
Yeah. And it's nice because it does, like, the, I don't know, like, there's a lot of things that happen in this episode, which you've said, that, like, would be hard to just, like, show.
Yeah.
But the show doesn't assume that its viewers wouldn't get it. Rather, it has confidence that its viewers will figure it out. And so it's like, yo, they... Fuck, I just remembered the scene where Annie starts undressing and Troy's like, how can I help?
Troy's like, how can I help? Pierce starts, like, excitedly undressing.
It's so good. But,
it's a really good bit.
You see that, and then we cut the commercial a couple of seconds later, and when we come back, after Abed has described it, the tables are up, everyone's undressed, and it just resumes almost in media res with Abed being like, now, jump and shake enough to dislodge. And you're like, oh, we've already gotten there. Cool. We are here. And it does the work for us, and it's super nice.
We don't have to cover someone taking Pierce's clothes off. Pierce's clothes are already off. Just these little... I mean, everyone knows that the writers on Community are fucking good at writing, but they also really are smart at knowing what they do not have to write and what needs to be excised.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Speaking of Gwennifer, and our listeners can hear me react to this in the guest interview with Alex from 6 Seasons and a Podcast that you can hear after we are done with our episode. There is an element to Jeff's date that I had never considered, and you can hear me react to it live in that interview when it is suggested to me for the first time.
Uh-oh.
But the writers were writing under the impression that Gwennifer was Britta. That when Jeff has a catch-to date that evening, it's Britta. And he's not on the phone with anybody. His screen is dark. He was letting Britta know in the room that their evening plans were off.
It would explain why Britta was so quick to assume what underwear he was wearing.
So they've been hooking up for a while now. Yes.
Yeah.
They've been hooking up. They are... I don't know how serious these dates are. They might just be, booty calls, essentially, but, planned booty calls. Britta is also the other member of the group that attempts to leave the most and the quickest. Hasta la later. And she's making her way out. A surprisingly good Britta episode, since we're on the topic. Her 1984 monologue, the thought police are forcing you to bend and spread.
Are they gonna, what is it? What do they put stuff, or do they find thoughts in your butt in that book?
I knew I should have read that book.
Sorry. Did they find thoughts in your butt? I knew I should have read that book.
On the topic of people not reading or watching enough different things, can we just all, stop using 1984 for everything? Can we, not, Community, the TV show, which does a few good 1984 riffs, but, every day I log onto Twitter.com and someone sees that,
oh boy, it's 1984.
Someone was banned from Twitter, and I'm like, okay, I get that 1984 was the most recent book you read, and that was 10 years ago, and it was homework. But, not everything is a 1984, which is a fiction book. George Orwell, smart guy. Not everything is in 150 pages of 1984. See,
I'm glad you brought this up, Kev, because
it's not the only book we made.
For the longest time, I felt this deep calling. It hasn't been loud enough to make me actually do it, but I've heard it. And it's to remind people that when your teachers, or you hear anybody for that matter, say that a lot of science fiction is, quote, prophetic, that they are being non-quote hyperbolic, and that it's not exactly prophetic, but a lot of science fiction has informed some changes. And, we can see some 100%. Things because imagination is a powerful thing. But that does not mean that if you can't say bigoted bullshit on Twitter, that 1984 is coming true.
Okay, here's something that people, I guess, fail to realize about freedom of speech, is that it is not freedom from people telling you to shut the fuck up. And so when someone tells you to shut the fuck up, that is not the works of George Orwell coming to be. That is you saying some dumb shit and people telling you to shut the fuck up. Oh, sorry. I'm feeling very salty. I have one glass of podcast juice in me.
It's okay.
I feel like maybe when Jace is here, I'm on my best behavior.
That's all it takes,
is what I'm starting to realize. And when Jace is not here...
You're afraid that they're going to...
When now 50% of this podcast is me, and I have to fill this much time, sometimes things just come out. This is happening.
And on top of that, you loosened some of your inhibitions to start.
Yeah, with one glass of podcast juice. Yes.
Yeah, so you were like, let me lube this spice up real quick so that it can be delivered in a more family friendly pack. Or no, sorry, snack size package. Because family friendly may not be. Yes.
Yeah, I did not. In fact, dilute the spice. What I did was turn it into curry. Is what I've done, and now we have a piping hot skillet of curry.
Yes.
Of podcast curry. I mean, this is an unbelievably good fucking episode. I don't know who, for many people, this is like on the Mount Rushmore of Community episodes, and it doesn't like quite hit the top 4 for me. But my God, this is an episode so good that almost even more so than Paintball, we can't come back from this one. Like, once you've done Cooperative Calligraphy, we can't go back and do Jeff and Britta trick Troy into dating Annie. We are beyond the horizon of what this show can be and do, what these characters are capable of, how this might all be a toxic mismatch sandwich. Like, it's... Cooperative Calligraphy is, for me, the point of no return for this show. We are beyond the pale at this point.
Yeah, we are. The group has had too serious a conversation, too serious a look into the internal workings of their brains.
Into themselves and each other.
Yes, they have literally shaken the dust and mystery from their Crooks and Nannies. No, Crooks and Nannies.
Crooks and Nannies. Hold on, everyone. TM. Crooks and Nannies is a spec script you and I are going to work on about robbers trying to break into a daycare or a one nanny taking care of quadruplets. You know, and she has to this one needs to be fed. There's a robber at the back. I gotta fend him off. I gotta run back.
Yep, doing it.
Crooks and Nannies. All right, TM.
TM.
Okay, I am going
Such a McElroy thing to do.
Yeah, I've listened to too many fucking hours of Griffin McElroy to not adopt that into myself. So far, apparently Crooks and Nannies, it is a band, but it is not a movie. So I like TM.
Homie, we must
unfortunately write Crooks and Nannies. Here's the thing, though, about Crooks and Nannies, and I'm going to say this now. If we set that shit at Christmas, we can sell this movie.
Also, we have potential to be among the movies that are spoken of when Christmas movies are brought up.
When Christmas movies are brought up, studios are always looking to buy Christmas movies because they need marketing for Christmas. It's the easiest sell in the world. You put out the Christmas movie around Christmas, and then it plays every year on television, or Netflix pays for it every year. And I think if we set Crooks and Nannies at Christmas, I think there's something there.
All we have to do is be, not for time of release, but for general demographic, all we have to do is beat Daddy Daycare.
That's all I'm saying. We beat Daddy Daycare. You get a little Daddy Daycare. You get a little Home Alone. Baby, you got Crooks and Nannies.
Little School of Rock, even? She teaches the kids to help her?
Yeah, exactly.
Homie.
Now we're on it. Now we're on that tip. Now we're on that good shit.
TM. Cut this out.
I'm going to cut this out. Crooks and Nannies. TM. Excellent work. This episode is just so good, it inspires me. It inspires us to do everything, to make a movie of our own. Joe Russo, it's not as showy as some of his genre episodes or the paintball episodes or whatever, but this is remarkably good direction. To make an episode set entirely within the study room, save for a puppy parade, to make that compelling, to make sure we always know where everyone sits in this three-dimensional space, deceptively tough shit. Tough shit.
Very much.
That's all I'll say.
And I remember thinking the first couple times watching it, being like, man, this episode takes place in one room. It's just kind of meh. And then, as I grew with the show, I remember going back to it frequently because I was like, this whole episode takes place in one room.
Oh my God.
It's so good. You know what I mean? It changes.
And I don't know if anyone in our audience has tried to write a fucking play. That shit's tough. That's you gotta set the whole thing in this one living room? How the hell am I supposed to do that?
Yeah, exactly. It's very good. And the shots are creative enough, but smart enough to creative and smart enough to imply a lot of. It's very didactic. The shooting of this episode is very didactic. It tells you a lot just based on how you're looking at the room each time.
100%. As I said, every level of this episode is operating at full strength. Every character gets at least a few good jokes. We get the start of our longtime runner of saying a sentence ending in a celebrity name that rhymes. A great bit. We love the bit. I mean, my God, what a piece of TV that they've put together. I know I've said it 100 times, but I just can't get over it.
It's great. This show, consistently, in its first 2 seasons, reminds you that you and everyone else should have been watching it when it was on TV.
100%. Well, I did.
But that's okay.
Well, I did. It doesn't make me...
No, I wasn't specifically talking to you,
I
Kev.
understand what I'm saying. I understand. I again, being a day one watcher does not make me a better or a better fan or whatever, but it is like a badge of honor that I hold for myself. I'm like, a day one adopter of Community. I wear that badge proudly.
Shit.
We rank episodes and end tags here on this dang podcast. The end tag we are ranking this week is the Puppy Parade. The Puppy Parade. It's a good one. It's not a classic Troy and Abed, but it's funny. There's some good jokes.
It is funny. Better than spaceships.
Better than spaceships. I was about to ask, is anything in this end tag better than Slut? I will say that I laugh more in this end tag more consistently because there's a few jokes instead of one.
But are the few jokes, do they add up to enough of the gut chuckle I get when they say slut? When Troy yells slut.
I would say yes. The Dean booing a puppy and a kitten.
Boo!
Very funny. Very funny.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. So I think, is it funny? Is it better than when they filmed Kick Puncher? Our number 10. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to crack.
No, it's not funnier than that. Yeah.
It's not better than Oh Christmas, Troy.
No, it's not. And Troy and Abed in the morning with Starburns.
That's the turtle. That's Garrett saying it's still sunny, which is very funny.
Very good.
Very good.
So after. Yes, new 13?
Yeah, new 13. Puppy Parade. Yeah. I like it. Now to the big dog, to Cooperative Calligraphy. It's not quite as good as Modern Warfare for me. I don't think it quite gets up there, but anything after that, I think we can have a conversation.
I think that physical education still...
It's really good.
Edges it out because it's so good.
It's so good. Okay.
But comparative religion and Jeff's argument brownie is also
really good. I don't want to, and I love season 2. I think it's like my favorite season of television, as I've said before. I don't just want to throw out the best episodes of season 1 unless we mean it. Unless we're sure. Because we don't get those back. Once they move down the list, they're gone. Is this episode better than Contemporary American Poultry? Is this going to crack the top 5? I think yes.
Because I was going to say it's better than Epidemiology.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's our new 4.
New 4. And, I'm not ready to get rid of the first Christmas episode yet. I love...
No, man, that episode's so fucking good, dude.
There are... Comparative Religion will not stay in the top 5 forever. I don't even think it'll make it out of season 2 in the top 5. I can't imagine. Probably top 10, but not... I'm not...
The problem is we have 2 episodes coming up that we know for sure are going to end up in the top 5.
Right.
And it's going to throw everything that we're fighting so hard about right now
next week
straight out the window.
Next week we are talking about conspiracy theories and my favorite episode of the show of all time, Mixology Certification. So, the top 5 is going to look real different next week. Okay, new number 4. I feel very comfortable with that. S1E8 Cooperative Calligraphy.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm discovering shit tonight. I didn't know Chandrasekhar. I didn't know that he directed an episode of this show.
He directed a few, Jay Chandrasekhar. Or no, maybe it's just 1 or 2. But then he appears on the show. I believe he is Gupta Gupti Gupta.
He directed 9 episodes.
Jay Chandrasekhar, because he also did first Chang Dynasty, which is the heist episode, very good episode. Advanced documentary filmmaking. Okay, we're not, it's season 4. We're not gonna hold that against him.
Basic RV repair and palmistry.
What a wild fucking episode.
Basic email security.
Okay, so he directed an episode he's in. He cast himself as Gupta Gupti Gupta. He did basic story. So he becomes, when the Russos are basically gone, Jay, along with Tristram Shapiro, Rob Schraub, come in and really start making it happen. They become the new regulars.
Sure.
And you could do a lot fucking worse than Jay Chandrasekhar and Tristram Shapiro. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, for sure. Super Troopers 3, Winter Soldiers. Oh, not even trying to be
good joke.
Sneaky about it.
I gotta
it's not though.
Gotta give it up for the bit. Commitment to the bit. That is, they're really laying it in. I mean, it's gonna age like fucking dinosaur bones, as we've said many before, but it's, if you're making the third Super Troopers movie, I think you're just trying to hone in on the core Super Troopers audience, and then you get back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's literally a run to a convenience store at that point.
Yeah.
Just, I gotta grab a thing.
I gotta grab one thing. Go. I'm not trying to bring in new Super Troopers audience. Like, the core audience of Super Troopers 3 are people that have accidentally watched it 5 times on Comedy Central. Just like in bits and starts throughout its run on Comedy Central.
Yeah,
and again,
for sure.
Don't mean that derisively. You get it's the Jay and Silent Bob reboot of the Super Troopers franchise.
Yeah,
exactly. So let's
exactly.
Yeah, we've been farting around over here quite a bit. Let's segue into plugs. Caleb, what do you got, and what do you want the people to know about?
Oh, well, I like video games and I play those. So if you're interested in anything that I do outside of this show, follow me at Lubwub on Twitter and the website nerdybits.com. Nerdybits all over the place. Outside of just the stuff I'm doing, the world is still going through some shit. We should be a little more reticent to go outside and enjoy time with friends than I think we're being. So, I've got old family. A lot of people have old family. Most people, honestly, have old family older than them. You should care about them and yourself. So,
yeah. Let's not forget that this is not the second wave. It is still the first wave. The first wave is still in progress. Please.
And if we can't slow down the first wave, the second wave isn't going to be reinforcements. It's going to be an occupying force.
We
should be careful.
Yeah, it's like we didn't realize we were fighting multiple man, and when you hit him, he duplicates. I would like to encourage my fellow New Yorkers. Guys, we were doing so good for like 3 or 4 months, and now I see all of you eating outside at restaurants. And I think, like, maybe, I know we all want to support local business. Call them, order takeout just for like another month so that we can like kill this thing dead. So we can like be sure it's dead before like we shoot Michael Myers one time, turn around to celebrate, and then he gets up and grabs us again.
We have to make sure that we have put his head underneath the boat motor and turned it on.
Yes. So let's just all be certain. Yes, I'm TV's Kevin Lanigan on all of the things, including Patreon. This month's Patreon Patreon earnings went to the Auntie Project, which benefits Indigenous women. At the behest of my dear friend Emma. Right now, all the money is being donated, but if you want to support me for when I'm working on projects, that is the place to do it. And my weekly webcomic, 5 times weekly webcomic, Patty, with 2 T's, Patty Plague Doc, still coming out on your regularly scheduled basis. Stay tuned to this very feed, where soon there will be a bonus episode about the filmed version of Hamilton. Soon there will be a filmed a bonus episode about the old miniseries Dinotopia. So stay tuned to that. Y'all have been great listeners and have broken any fucking listener record I put in front of you. And I want to reward you with extra bonus shit from myself and some of my very dumb friends and companions. As we said, we will be back next week with, I mean, 2 of the best episodes of the show.
Two fucking bangers, man.
2 absolute bangers. One of them, Conspiracy Theories, I see as people's favorite episode all the time. So look forward to that. Oh, and I want to do another social media shout out for good people that you can follow on community social media. This one is The Lady February, and that is their full tag. They're just nothing but lovely. They like all the same nerdy shit you do. So follow that good person, because there are too many bad people that want to yell at me about their favorite ship, and I want to spread the good people and make sure that people know about the good people.
Yeah. The Lady February saw I retweeted an old video of Chris Evans getting a girl's number. And it's amazing.
Oh,
and he
y'all, if you haven't seen that video,
it's so good.
If you have
geek jogs around the car to get back in. Oh, it's so good.
It's real good. So yeah, if y'all haven't seen that, I have another Chris Evans based recommendation for y'all, and it is not the Scott Pilgrim 10-year reunion live read, but you can do that as well. I am referring to the episode of the podcast Anna Faris is Unqualified. It's a 2-part episode featuring Anna Faris, her then-husband Chris Pratt, and guests Chris Evans and Jenny Slate, who met for the first time that day. And from listening to that episode, I can guarantee you they fucked that night. I have never heard 2 people trying to fuck each other harder than Chris Evans Chris Evans and Jenny Slate. Comedian Jenny Slate, and they dated very briefly, but if you listen to that episode, you will be like, am I listening to foreplay right now? So I don't know, if you're feeling horny in quarantine, I say go for it.
Thanks for typing it into my search now.
Anna Faris is Unqualified. Anyway, we'll be back next week with all that good shit, but until then... Oh, and stay tuned for my interview with Alex from 6 Seasons and a Podcast, a truly lovely man who apparently I have almost identical television taste with, which is good. But until then, pop, pop.
Pop, pop, you're not miraculous, son of a bitch.
Not miraculous? I'll bet.
Give me some more time in a dream. Give me the hope to run out of steam. Somebody say it could be here. We could be rolled up, tied up, dead in a year. I can't count the reasons I should stay. One by one, they all just fade away.
I've been wading through a lot of very interesting community opinions today, but there is almost no show that I've seen worse opinions on than the television show Lost. That show has really been tried guilty in the court of public opinion, and I don't think it's necessarily justified.
No, it's not. It's one of those first really major shows that, it's offensive maybe to 40 years of TV before it, but at the same time,
it's a landmark piece of TV. I think, there had been other serialized shows like Twin Peaks, and it had predecessors. I think The Sopranos debuts before Lost. I think The Wire debut. There are other progenitors, but a show of this scale, the sheer number of cast members opening on that incredible plane crash.
When they launched the show, I mean, I'm pretty sure they launched the show right after the Super Bowl. I think that's when they posted one of the episodes.
Opener.
Yeah.
What a lead in.
Yeah.
For that incredible pilot of Lost, one of the finest ever committed to the form. And there was and this is the internet had obviously been around for a little bit, but I feel like real fervent fandom on the internet was just becoming possible. So there were all of these, this was the time where there were Star Trek fan sites, there were Buffy fan sites, but this was, we can watch this entire show and discuss it together with other people that are just as weird and obsessed about this show as we are. And there is no Game of Thrones without Lost. Like a show proving that you can do these sprawling mythology heavy shows. There is no Game of Thrones without Lost. There's no Walking Dead without Lost. Like it's all but there is no Lost without, Twin Peaks and Alias and all these predecessors that it have. It is part of the chain, but it's a unbelievably crucial part of the chain.
And Lost it wasn't just a TV show. There was so much content that they put out online to augment the experience and, kind of draw people in. And so, I think that's what makes it unique. It was, there was so much mythos and mysteriousness about the island and everything around it, that they would just create these different levels of content and that kind of thing. So it really became this like whodunit, where are we going with this thing? And so
it was this nascency of like, there were whole websites, official websites you could go to on Lost that were like, you just read documents from like the Dharma Initiative or Charles Widmore's operation. There were video games. There were, we were in the period of mobisodes, so there were like online shorts tying into the episodes. This is like the heyday of networks doing that. I remember during the height of Heroes, there was like a text number that you could sign up for, and it would just send you trivia like while you're watching the episode live on NBC. Just this wild shit.
Well, nothing more mysterious. I think the biggest question I have about that TV show, why Sayid would put his knives face up in the dishwasher in, I don't know if it's season 5 or season 6. Every time I do the dishes, when I'm putting stuff in the dishwasher, I'm like, knives face down. But Sayid, I'm being facetious. There's the scene where he's now an assassin, right? He becomes an assassin.
Working. I guess spoilers for an episode of TV that aired like 10 fucking years ago. Get over it. It's a minor spoiler in like season 5. You will, if you start watching Lost now, you'll forget it by the time you get to this. But yeah, he's working for Ben as an assassin, and
there's an assassin after him who comes into his shitty apartment, and they fight, and the way he kills the assassin is because he puts his knives up in the dishwasher
and just like drops a dude onto it. A pretty cool way to kill a guy, I gotta say. I had not seen that one before. That's the great mystery. Unless that's like, Sayid plans his life around the potential of assassins showing up at unspecified times. So you need to have a bug out plan. You need to be able to like reach into the cookie jar and pull out a gun. That's just something you might need to be able to do. Well, so he's got plans.
But that predicates the question of like, he needs to have dirty knives on hand then. So he's like he's making PB&J, not with a butter knife like a normal person. He's making it with sharp serrated knives.
Butcher's knife, a freshly sharpened X-Acto knife. Yeah.
Anyway, so
I think that checks out. I love it.
I think about it every time I do dishes. Every time.
You like guard yourself over the dishwasher. You're like, this is how I go.
I don't, I think about it and wonder, like, how the heck did he know that? Like,
what Jaws was with the ocean and sharks was Sayid's dishwasher to you in doing your own dish.
Right.
I love that. This is, of course, the interview portion of Advanced Community Studies, and I am joined by now officially a frequent collaborator of mine. And if you're listening to this show, there's a pretty solid chance you've already heard his. This is, of course, Alex from 6 Seasons and a Podcast. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yes, the last time we spoke was, of course, on our episode of your show.
Yeah, that's coming out this week, which now just messes up the timeline of when you're going to post this. And
this
anyway,
will be for when you're hearing this, listener. It was last week, but yeah, go check over to that feed, and we are nicely like the beautiful thing about like my group's episodes kind of like being delayed a little bit is that we have this incredible lead in of like Joel McHale, Danny Booty, Jim, like with all of these people leading up to us. It's just like the perfect. It's like the guy that went on the Ed Sullivan Show after the Beatles. It's like they got to follow that. But no, I'm thrilled to have you on. When we were talking, you mentioned that our episode this week is one of your favorites, one of many people's favorites, an incredible episode. And so I thought I'd have you on to talk about it.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really excited about it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So the inaugural question for you. I'm sure you've talked about this on other shows before, but I'm curious, what is your community journey? When did you start the show? How long have you been with it? I'm curious.
Yeah, this will be great because I've potted with a couple other friends of our community, many community podcasters, and I'd really be curious if I tell the same story, or either that or I've just crafted some elaborate lie. No, I've definitely will stick with that. I was an original watcher. I watched the show throughout the earliest. I think I watched the pilot online or on when it aired, and a bunch of the early stuff. I think once I got to figure out when, if there's any way to figure this out. But I'm pretty sure one of the streaming platforms. I think it was either doing it through NBC or Hulu. Might have had early episodes. I forget.
This was the nascency of Hulu when Community is debuting in like 2009, and Hulu was all free at that point, and it was exclusively a collaboration between NBC, Fox, and ABC. It was their like streaming network. And all the ads were like Will Arnett and Alec Baldwin, like people that those networks had in-house selling you Hulu. And for the first season, I'm not as sure. I think they had like maybe the 5 most recent episodes at any given time.
Yeah.
And then they would do this thing between seasons where they would have a rotating list of 5 episodes that were available. That's
nice. Yeah, very convenient.
Yeah, I remember like spending weeks like waiting for the conspiracy theories episode to come back up because I had missed that one. So it was like I was waiting for my spot on the Ferris wheel to come back around.
I know that I was keeping up with it early on. I wasn't really a social media guy. I think if you look back at my timeline on Facebook, I was annoying to everyone on Facebook and said, "Hey, you should watch the show." And so I have a lot of friends who were like not surprised that I started the podcast and were like, "Oh yeah, you really like that show." But I'm pretty sure I was not. I definitely was not a like watch this Thursday night on TV. So I know that I give myself negative points for like being part of the problem for not giving the show the watchers that it needed. So that's my early community story. But as far as then kind of going through, I did watch it on Yahoo every week or however they dropped it. I was again really on top of it with that. But for me, I wasn't like as huge of a Community fan as I am now. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's not like Community was all I thought about and like tweeted about it and started a podcast. I wasn't. It literally was this last year when I was like, oh, I really like this show. I've always wanted to do a podcast. No one else is really doing this. And it's the 10-year anniversary. I should just start one. And it was really helpful in a therapeutic time for me of needing to get back into, a creative, get my creative juices going and find a place to do that. And it just, I was like, all right, I'll just do this. And so that's, I started the podcast and, hop, skip, and a jump from there. We're getting some cool people on the podcast, which is great.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're pulling in those big names, and I think it is exceptional. Now, you and I both being day one watchers, it doesn't mean we're better than anyone else. It doesn't mean
we've qualified that I'm worse.
Fans.
I'm worse,
right, exactly.
because I didn't help.
You've set it all up. I mean, like we all tried to get people to watch Community live, but like, who the hell was consistently, because no one was ever watching live TV consistently like it used to be. Except for Lost, where that was like appointment fucking viewing. Yeah. But say you are another favorite show of mine, say you're Scrubs, right? The expectation of a Scrubs viewer was not that they would watch every single episode of Scrubs. The dedicated ones would, but most people are not always available the same time every single week. And so the expectation was like at most someone would watch like 8 episodes from the entire season. That was like your really good viewer would be someone that watched only a third of the episodes that you put out in a given season. And so religious community viewers, we tried. We tried to proselytize to those of folks that were still watching live TV in 2012, but it never panned out. It was a fruitless endeavor. It was never going to work out. There was nothing we could have done.
Well, there's also this time period where there's the proliferation of like being able to download from pirating of TV shows, which I don't think anyone does anymore, like because there's so many ways to watch it. So like there's that time period between the death of network television and the advent of streaming. There's that middle time period where you said Scrubs, like, I'm sorry, but I also might have known someone who downloaded videos of the episodes so they could watch them. But that's because like there was no medium to really catch up with it and to do that. Now, guys, I stream the hell out of Scrubs and stream the hell out of Community, so they're getting your paychecks. So
that's right, getting them little residuals back in.
Yeah.
From our plays on Hulu. Yeah, it was. I mean, the idea that people were sitting down every week and watching something was kind of strange and archaic, with the exception being a Lost, or recently we experienced it with like a Game of Thrones. But you couldn't structure your show around people having seen previous episodes because there was no way to.
Yeah.
Like if you missed a Cheers or a MASH, I don't know, you better hope they play it again over the summer when they're looking for programming.
Exactly.
Like you just didn't see it. And that was just the crazy way. There was no I want to start this show from the beginning, because if Scrubs was in season 3, I don't know how the hell you would find season 1 of Scrubs on 8 VHS tapes that you could buy from the local Walmart. I don't know. But TV has changed so much.
Yep.
It comes up a lot on this show because it's something that I think way too much about.
No, I agree.
So I will ask you this, and then we will segue into our episode for the week. What are your big Community episodes, obviously besides this one? And what are your big Community characters? Who kept you coming back?
The biggest episode, I have to say, is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It's the most personal one to me. It's had some drama, as we've talked about, surrounding it, and I understand that. When we move past that scene and that issue, we move into a very deeply meaningful episode about mental health, awareness of warning signs of suicide and depression. And I don't know if I've ever watched, I've watched a lot of TV, not every TV show ever, but I've watched a lot of TV, and I don't think I've seen an episode of TV that has been so meaningful, moving, but also hilarious. I mean, at the same time,
Right.
it goes all the way. It's in every direction. And so to me, that's my favorite episode of Community. But I would throw in, I just watched the Ash Crack Bandit episode. I just watched
Great episode.
Cooperative Calligraphy, and this episode. So yeah, those are kind of top 5.
Those are
although that's
excellent.
only 4 that I listed.
Counts. There's only 4 on Mount Rushmore. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, excellent taste. Those are unbelievable episodes. And then obviously we love all the Community characters, but is there anyone that like stands out to you as like your folks?
Yeah, so because of D&D, Charlie Kuntz, aka Neil, love that character. When I've watched the show, I've always kind of gravitated to someone new each season, not season, but each rewatch. Jeff obviously was the first time around. I was like, oh, I love Jeff. I want to be like Jeff. Then I kind of went around to Annie, and I was like, oh, Annie's great, and but I've more gravitated towards Shirley and Britta over the last couple of years.
Love it.
Specifically, probably the most Britta, just because I just resonate with the like wants to try but is slightly giving up on life. Just the jaded like persona. I really, that lands with me well as a 40-year-old man now. So
it lands pretty hard. I was talking a little bit about this on Twitter recently, and I'm sure it will come up on the podcast 400 more times. But for better or worse, Britta Perry is kind of the character of our times in good ways and bad. In good ways that like Britta was right about a lot of things. Britta was right about the police. Britta was right about like our rights and surveillance. Britta was also very wrong about race many times. She feels so strangely indicative of the modern age. I love Britta. We must protect our sweet. Now you could argue different ways about this, but I think she is the most developed of by the end. She feels like the deepest, most like self-contradictory character of the whole bunch. As bizarre as she feels like the most human to me in a lot of ways.
She represents like this progress of like, yes, in your 20s, in late 20s, and maybe even early 30s, you feel like, injustice of the world, like let's fight and rage against the machine. But like as she moves towards her 30s or late 30s, she's probably mid 30s in by season 6. I think she was like
they
20.
Clock her around like 35 or something like that by the end of the show.
Yeah, I mean, and she's probably advanced for her age, in the jaded persona.
She started early.
Yeah, she started there early. So I mean, she just reminds me of me, and yeah. But I think it's interesting to hear like a lot of people like criticize her as saying, because Jeff, there's a line where Jeff says, you're a lot smarter when I first met you, or you seemed a lot smarter when I first met you, and it's like, I think she just doesn't give a fuck anymore. And
she's let her walls down with these people.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to present like she knows everything.
Yes.
Our podcast pal, Jillian from the Greendale, Welcome to Greendale. Sorry, there are a lot of community podcasts. Summarized it really well and specifically in relating to her, that like, she also feels like she gives off this very jaded leather jacket persona, but when you like get to know her, she's like a goofball and a mess like everybody else.
Yeah.
It feels very honest to me.
Yeah. And she doesn't care about Radiohead finding out about what she does.
You'd be surprised what gets back to those guys.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, Cooperative Calligraphy. A hell of an episode, a bottle episode. I hate to put the question as vaguely as I'm about to, but what about this episode really resonates you? Why is this on your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I think it represents a kind of typography of Community episode, which is firmly established in the first in the pilot, and I just kind of think of it as a around the table episode, and that's to me when Community is they do really the genre really great, and so I told you the Ask Greg Bandit episode is really great, and the Pillow Blanket Forts episode is really great. So when they do that, when they're not around the table, they do really well as well. So it's not all contingent on that, but there are a handful of episodes like Cooperative Calligraphy, the pilot, when they're just sitting around the table and it's just bounce. There's just dialogue. And I just find that to be really intriguing from a writing standpoint. I've dabbled in trying to write dialogue. I've dabbled in trying to understand the craft. No one should be worried about me taking over the world and writing anything. But from a standpoint of just kind of understanding what I'm talking about when I interview people, I just and just kind of another layer of creativity. I've just found it interesting. So when you take a look at these episodes, this episode in particular, I think Megan Gans does a fabulous job of just crafting this, bouncing this dialogue off each other. And so that's what sticks off the top of my head.
Megan Gans, one of the best in the dang biz. And you spoke to it a little bit. There just is something that feels more difficult about writing an episode where they essentially do not leave this one room and are gathered in this one space for the entire duration. That feels more difficult than writing a paintball war. And I love paintball. I love Lava World. But there's something that is so difficult about confining everyone to one space. It's like playwriting. It's how can I set the entirety of this play in one living room?
Yeah, and that's why I bring up cooperative calligraphy, because it's like they're all sitting around this one table, and it's just arguments and just these two. I think there's a third. I think this is a trilogy.
Cooperative calligraphy, cooperative polygraphy, or polygraph. I'm not actually sure how that word is pronounced, but the lie detector episode.
Yep.
Which is another masterclass in exactly this. I maybe prefer that one, but only slightly. It's like choosing between two near perfect objects.
Yeah, I think the payoff with the cylinders of semen has a higher joke moment than anything in cooperative calligraphy. But
still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And then I think technically basic email security would be the end of this trilogy, because it's all these episodes are always about secrets being revealed about how the group treats each other. So that one feels perhaps like a natural third to all of this, but it's not as clean as Paintball or any of their other trilogies. The documentary trilogy.
Yeah, there's because the documentary trilogy, but I feel like there's one. Yeah, it may be the
absolutely. I think Abed puts a hat on it in the email security episode and says I like to think of this as a thematic trilogy, but it would either be that or basic crisis room decorum. It's one of the two that they refer to as the end of this trilogy.
Yeah, my community knowledge is running short on this one, but
I think this is maybe an episode, even more so than Paintball, that the show cannot come back from having done this episode, that something this formally dynamic and inventive, this committed to the study group, is also a toxic relationship. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is something that the show could ever circle back around to being what it was, say, in the first half of season 1.
Yeah. You have, I mean, how does the episode start off? Basically they're in the study room and Annie loses her pen and then loses her shit.
Right.
Yeah. And you kind of have them each kind of reacting to her. Yeah. I mean, I think you see that veneer that they have, which is like, okay, this is how we'll handle things. But like, that's such a fine layer that once they're really pushed, you see these, what's really underneath. And I think that's what you have like with cooperative calligraphy is the same thing where it's like they have this nice shine, they're walking in very paralleled episodes where they're like, let's respect the dead. And this is like, okay, well, let's respect Annie and her pen. But then once they are asked to do something against their will, whether it's a strip search or whether it's a lie detector test, what really makes them toxic, what really makes them not great people, I guess, that's what really comes out. It's interesting.
This will continue to be heightened as episodes like this resurface, where like remedial chaos theory kind of suggests that what's holding the study group back is Jeff, even though like he formed it. He is also like the anchor that is pulling them down. And Abed will like put tracking chips in everyone later. So like, him accidentally tracking everyone's menstrual cycle seems big in this episode, but is peanuts compared to like kind of where we're going with these people, compared to Garrett's wedding.
Compared to putting a little something in your tea or whatever, and accidentally, getting everyone A's.
On top of everything that they smuggle into this episode, we have like a slight advancement of the Shirley pregnancy storyline.
You go, girl.
Have you
girl. That's what it is.
Girl. Incredible joke. We have one of the first sets of seeds of the Jeff and Britta secret sex relationship. Like there are, on top of everything that they try to cram into this episode, they still find ways to cram those in too. It's crazy.
It was Megan was saying that she thought the writers, Gwennifer was code for her, as Jeff is calling Gwennifer. That was code for Britta. Cool trivia.
Wow!
Oh, you didn't know that?
I
thought that's what you were referring to. Oh yeah. So the writers, I think, assumed that Gwennifer was actually Britta, and he's just talking in the phone.
He's talking to no one.
But he's talking to no one and is actually just talking to Britta. Like, yeah, fine.
Oh my God. I was referring to her referencing Jeff's stripy Beetlejuice numbers.
Oh, yeah.
She says he usually wears. Wow. So 2 times. Wow. I guess Gwennifer is kind of a preposterous name. I'm not here to call out anyone's name, any Gwennifers who might be listening, but
isn't Kendra from like season 1 or 2?
Kendra with a QU.
Yeah.
We're still a few episodes out from Kendra with a QU. That was one of my hottest takes today. Is I think she is very, very funny. She's only in like 3 scenes basically, but she gets a laugh in every single one of them. We have nothing but respect for Kendra with a QU.
Gwennifer, on the other hand, no.
Gwennifer, nothing but disrespect. I hold no quarter with Gwennifers. Excellent. Well, thank you. Any other? I know this is an incredibly vague question, but any other like community thoughts about this episode that you simply must excise from yourself?
Well, what you're learning, dear listener, is that I'm not very good at being interviewed, and so
the tables have turned.
So that's why I like asking questions and being on the other side. And one might say I'm not very good at that either, but no.
Well, you have the power of editing. You can make it invisible.
I don't say I edit a lot, but I edit enough so that my and I don't sound dumb. But as far as community for this episode, I think that what you have is a moment where Jeff is deferential to Troy in letting him like take over. I like that. As we'll have said in our previous episode, if you listen to mine first sequentially, I'm not a huge Troy and Abed person, but Jace has given me some help on that, and I think I've appreciated that perspective and given me a little bit more of insight on male relationships and bonding. And I think it's particularly like they're just jealous. Like that was really good. Like, but I really like the Troy's trajectory throughout the show, where he's on this. You know, I'll point it out again. Like if you look at cooperative calligraphy, that's like Troy's moment of becoming a man and like knowing he's supposed to go do that. And so there is elements of like that in this episode where it's like Troy gets to do the winger speech through, you know, his story. While it's, you know, it's childish in ways, it's still like he's the center of attention. So I like that. There's a really good non-Jeff focal point. I just watched, we're all over the place. I know we're talking about one episode, but you had posted about the Messianic Myths episode. Mm-hmm. And I went back and watched it and was like, oh no, I really do like this. And I think it's the maturity of my perspective over time that I'm like, oh, I really like what Shirley had to do in this episode for Abed. And I think it's a similar moment of like the story, the point of the story, the culmination of the story is that someone is doing something nice and someone else gets to be the center of attention than Jeff.
It's very nice. Our opinions should change over time. You know, like there are some things that will never change, but it's good to like as your age changes, as your position in society changes. I know that it changes a lot when you have kids. Like the way we look at media can be completely different than when we were in a previous stage of our life. These things change, and that's good.
Yeah, I think our perspective on art should change and does change because of our age. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. You know, looking at Starry Night will have a totally different meaning. You know, I know that's just throwing it out there. For sure. Totally random. But like as a kid, I'm looking at it and going, oh, this reminds me of my room, like and like something, you know, maybe out of a story, fairy tale. But as you grow and appreciate something over time, you know, it does change. So the only thing that doesn't change is my opinion of Unsolved Mysteries, which is now on Netflix, which scared the hell out of me when I just tweeted about this. I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch this Unsolved Mysteries again, you know. But when I was, you know, in the 80s, when I was an impressionable young person, that we would stay up at night and every once in a while it'd be on and we'd watch it and it would fuck up my shit.
Too scary.
Too scary. As a 10-year-old, that music. Anyway, if you were raised in the 90s, it won't mean anything to you. But if you were raised in the 80s, you'll be like, oh yeah, that music haunted my dreams. So anyway.
Absolutely. Only 80s kids will understand. Well, thank you for bringing us here. Now is the time where you can plug yourself, plug your show, and anything else you would like to say.
Oh man. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for enduring. And so 6 Seasons and a Podcast is one of the many community podcasts we have going. It's different. I love what you guys do. I love what the other podcasters are doing with their episodes, their shows. Mine is really turned into, I try to interview people related to the show, and every once in a while when there's a really interesting discussion to be had, I'll have the other podcasters on. But recent guests I had on Joel McHale and Danny Pudi. It was a lot of fun. Fingers crossed, Jim Rash and Gillian Jacobs and Chris McKenna are up next in the next month or so, and hopefully we'll get them on and we'll have some good times with them.
You also have guests who are like from different sides of the show.
Yep.
You know, you've had actors, you've had some of the incredible writers, some of the great directors. You know, there are any angle that you want to look at Community from, or you've had plenty of fans as well, like people that run Instagram accounts and stuff. Whatever angle you want to look at this show, there is something over there at 6 Seasons and a Podcast.
Yeah, Adam Davidson, I should point that one out because that was just this last one. Adam Davidson is the director, an Oscar-winning director. So
for his short film.
For his short film, The Lunch Date, and he has done so much TV. I could just rattle off. He did a Lost episode. He did Bosch. He did 6 Feet Under. He did Deadwood. So like every Friday Night Lights. He's done every show that was amazing and has been. And then he did like 5 or 6 episodes of Community. So check him out.
Great ones, like the first Christmas episode with the bully. Yeah, absolutely.
He did Conspiracy Theories.
A classic. Stone cold classics.
Yep. So that's a really good one. He's a really interesting guy, and then I also talked to Chris Brannon. I was just thinking about him. I was emailing him about coming on again. He helped build the sets for 6 years, and what a cool job! What a cool guy to have come on, and hopefully we're going to get some other guys that were set builders, and we're going to talk about maybe like the top 10 sets that they built and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I really want to know, like, if you could get like the assistant camera operator or something. Like, I want to know the perspective of people who are on set but not the actors, and guys talking about like, 16-hour days on Community.
Yes.
I think that is a perspective that I would very much like to hear.
Yeah, that's great.
This has been a Talkback Podcast. That was quite a show.